CNN entertainment correspondent Elizabeth Wagmeister is here with more on her exclusive reporting. Elizabeth, tell us what you're learning.
We have learned from two sources that potential witnesses have been contacted and notified by federal investigators that they may be called to testify.
In a lawsuit filed yesterday, former star Adria English claims she was trapped in a cycle of trafficking she never asked to be a part of because defendant Combs knew he could groom her.
When we drink, I felt so because I was paid as a stripper at Lyrical. I know what it takes to be drunk. I felt way more up.
Sean Combs was once on a glide path to becoming a billionaire, but as sexual allegations, which Combs has denied, continued to mount, business partners have fled, and his brands have become increasingly worthless. And the worst news may be yet to come.
50 Cent sells Diddy to Netflix after bidding war. Hey, I'm gonna put it like this, I'm gonna watch it. I think it's something that we all should watch, you know? And look, it's something that there are reasons why the industry is so quiet right now, too.
Recently, he's been sued by an adult film star who was employed to work at his famous Labor Day white parties.
All right, guys. Today, we're breaking down a story that's been sending shockwaves through the entertainment world. Federal investigators are reportedly reaching out to potential witnesses as allegations surrounding Sean Diddy Combs continue to grow. What began as isolated accusations has now evolved into a much larger legal battle, with new lawsuits mounting scrutiny and even a major documentary drawing public attention. This opening sets the stage for everything that's about to unfold.
Adria English, who filed her suit on July 3rd of this year, claims she was first employed by Combs in 2004 and was groomed into trafficking over time. In her suit, she claims her first year of working at Combs' now infamous party in Miami, there was no sinister intent or requirements for physical sexual contact and seemed like a legitimate employment opportunity. So she came back the following year and the year after. But it would be that third party she worked at that Diddy allegedly demanded she engaged in sexual intercourse with party guests after they learned about her adult entertainment past and forced her into work. English claims her memories of some details are hazy due to her consuming lots of alcohol and drugs, but added in her complaint the encounters she was forced to endure were so excruciating she remembers them because they still haunt her to this day. In May of this year, April Lampros filed her lawsuit against Combs, accusing him of battery and sexual assault. She says she met Combs in '94 when she was a student at the Fashion Institute of Technology. Lampros claims Combs promised to mentor her and showered her with gifts. She says she endured 4 terrifying sexual encounters with the producer/rapper up until the 2000s. The first incident allegedly occurred in '95 when Combs took her to a hotel and raped her. Lampros claims months later Combs sent her gifts and flowers, so she decided to give him a second chance. She says the second incident allegedly occurred in a parking lot where Combs forced and demanded her to perform oral sex on him. Then in '96, Lampros claims Combs forced her and his former girlfriend, who happens to be the mother of 4 of his children, to take ecstasy and have sex with each other, where Combs allegedly pleasured himself and then Lampros. Lampros says the fourth incident occurred at the end of 2000 when Combs was dating Jennifer Lopez. Years later, at an event in 2023, Lampros claims a man informed the person she was with at the event that he had seen a tape of Lampros having sex with Combs that was filmed without her consent. 2 days prior to Lampros' suit being filed, Crystal McKinney also filed a suit against Diddy. She claims she met Diddy at a New York Fashion Week event when she was a 22-year-old model. In the suit, McKinney says Combs told her he would help advance her career. And later that same night, she alleges she met Combs at a studio where he gave her a lace joint, alcohol, then followed her into a bathroom and forced her to perform oral sex on him. After the alleged assault, McKinney believes Combs blackballed her in the modeling industry. She says she's since suffered depression and even attempted suicide.
This section shifts from headlines to the detailed allegations made by multiple women over different periods of time. One by one, the lawsuits describe similar claims involving promises of career opportunities, alleged manipulation, and serious accusations of abuse, whether connected to parties, modeling opportunities, or the music industry. These accounts begin revealing a pattern that investigators and the public are now examining much more closely.
There's the Rodney Jones Jr. suit filed in federal court in February of this year that accuses Combs and the people who work with him of being part of an illegal racketeering enterprise. Jones alleges in his complaint Combs reached out to him in 2022 to help him produce songs for his latest album. But Jones claims that the work went far beyond him producing. He claims he was tasked with getting drugs and soliciting workers. Jones alleges Combs would often threaten to inflict bodily harm on him if he didn't comply with his demands, and accuses him of sexual harassment for allegedly grabbing him without his consent and forcing him to work while Combs paraded around. Then there's the suit filed by a woman under the moniker Jane Doe, which was filed in December of 2023. Doe alleges she was gang raped and trafficked by Combs and former Bad Boy Records president Harve Pierre when she was just 17 years old and in the 11th grade. She claims she met Pierre in a Detroit lounge and he told her he was best friends with Combs. Doe says Combs then convinced her to fly on a private jet with Pierre and a third assailant to New York City. She alleges when she was taken to Combs' studio, she was given drugs and alcohol and subsequently gang the studio by Combs, Pierre, and the third assailant. Combs and Pierre have denied the allegations against them. Liza Gardner filed her lawsuit against Combs and R&B singer Aaron Hall in November of 2023, alleging the two forced her to have sex with them against her will when she was 16 years old. She claims she met Combs and Hall at a Jodeci album release event in New York City. Combs allegedly invited Gardner and her friend to Hall's apartment for an after-party, and it was there that Combs coerced her into having sex with him. In the suit, Gardner claims she was getting dressed after. Hall barged into the room, pinned her down, and allegedly forced her to have sex with him. The day after the assault, Gardner alleges that Combs came to her home and began assaulting and choking her to the point she passed out. On the same day Gardner's suit was filed, another suit was filed, this one by Joy Dickerson-Neal. In her suit, Dickerson-Neal says that she met Combs after she appeared in a music video with him while she was a student at Syracuse University. She claims she agreed to go out to dinner with the rapper and producer in January of '91. During their date, Dickerson-Neal alleges that Combs intentionally drugged her, then sexually assaulted her and recorded the assault. She alleges days later a male friend revealed to her that he and other men had viewed the tape, which she says from that point her life went into a tailspin, and after returning to college she had to be admitted to the hospital for severe depression and suicidal ideation.
The story expands even further as additional lawsuits introduce more individuals with separate allegations spanning several decades. These accounts include former associates, producers, and women who claim they experienced misconduct after crossing paths with Combs. While every lawsuit presents its own circumstances, together they paint a broader picture that has intensified legal attention and dramatically increased public scrutiny surrounding the case.
I think the music industry is one of the most corrupt industries on the planet. And I know somebody personally, and I'm not even going to go into details, that did one of the biggest hits of Biggie's career. And he told me when he sent the beat to Puffy, he just stole it from him. So just from the amount, how you doing business, you cannot do business that way and expect for you to continue to be successful, because eventually it will come back. So we always heard about, from that standpoint of view, just doing people dirty, just sneaking people for money, and every evil thing you can think of, they just, what I mean? So that's sad, because when you come from our background and we get into the music industry, for example, and they start becoming these CEOs, the first thing they start talking about, man, we're going to do our own record company because we tired of the white man stealing from us. You know what I mean? And then you get these black CEOs, they come do the same exact thing to black artists. Yeah, so you keep seeing that cycle where that's why the music industry, I always say, is one of the most corrupt industries on the planet, because, everybody's out for themselves. You know what I mean? Everybody's out for themselves. So the same thing they complain that the white, CEOs are doing, the black CEOs do it to the same thing to the artists.
So when you see the situation that Diddy in right now, right, you're not surprised?
It doesn't surprise me. Yeah, it doesn't. You know what I mean? We just always heard he was cutthroat. I'm surprised he survived that long. I used to say, well, he probably rubbing shoulders with the people. Those, I don't get into that conspiracy, Illuminati and stuff like that, where people start saying it. But I definitely believe that it's in the music industry, there's some higher people that's very corrupt and evil. And I remember when we first, and I didn't really understand it, but when we first, like the time that I first met Pac, we was in a group called Dramacidal. We went from being Young Thugs to Dramacidal, then we became the Outlaws. And I remember when Pac was locked up and we would go visit him and he was telling us that, because when we were Dramacidal before the Outlaws, we had a quick record deal with Interscope Records. And I remember when Pac used to say stuff, he was like, I swear to God, he used to say, you know, you're gonna go meet this person at Interscope, and you know, they devils. I didn't really understand what he meant by that. He's like, but you know, you gotta play it right, and you know, they gonna give us a record deal, but they just straight devils, you know what I mean? So, and now I understand. These people cutthroat, you know what I mean? You don't see no CEO. If you look at any rap record, the CEOs from these rap records, they not part of our community. Meaning that they come from a different background than us. Most of them are ran by certain individuals. And what happened is they never get back to the community. You never heard of the CEO of Interscope Records, the CEO of Sony Records. These people making billions of dollars off of black music. You never heard them once say, let's open up a school in the black community. Let's give healthcare to the rappers. Let's go open up community centers for the black people. But they taking all this money. You understand? When an individual died, have you ever heard of a record company that paid for a funeral of a dead rapper? Besides Suge Knight, Suge paid, you know, when Pac put it in his will, he wanted to go cremate it. Suge paid $1 million to cremate him. But these people, so now when I think back on when Pac was calling them devils, it's like these people are really devils. They just out for money. They don't care who die in the process. They don't care what happens in the process. They don't care who lives are destroyed, as long as that money coming in.
Yeah, that's real talk, man. But for me, right, when I look at the situation, I look at it like karma. You know, he finally getting everything back that he got away with from back then, and you know.
Arrogance, you gotta humble yourself. You know what I mean? You gotta understand, like, you can't carry yourself with that arrogance as if you're untouchable, because the creator of the heavens and the earth can destroy you 1 second. And I maybe he's saying that now. Sometimes people be thinking they're untouchable because they get away with certain things so much, and they get careless and they get arrogant. And I think that's what he's going through.
The focus now moves beyond the courtroom and into the music industry itself. Former insiders discuss long-standing rumors about aggressive business practices, powerful executives, and an environment they describe as deeply corrupt. They reflect on stories involving legendary artists, industry politics, and why many claim they were never surprised by today's allegations. Their perspective adds another layer to the growing controversy surrounding Diddy.
Has always been known for his big white parties where a bunch of celebrities show out. But now we're learning the truth about what happened at these disturbing parties. An adult star has come forward and claimed that they were trafficked at one of Diddy's parties. Diddy has been under a federal investigation for human trafficking, so this isn't a great look for him. It's like another one to add to the list. In a lawsuit filed in New York, a former adult film star, Adria English, claimed that the rapper and CEO of Bad Boy Entertainment forced her into prostitution and sex work with guests at his annual white party. So at these parties, I guess he would force these people, like Adria English, to go and hook up with these celebrities. Now, Adria claims this happened between the years 2006 through 2009 and happened both in the Hamptons and in Miami. She was, quote, made to engage in illicit narcotics and alcohol use while employed by Diddy.
In a lawsuit filed yesterday, former star Adria English claims she was trapped in a cycle of trafficking she never asked to be a part of because defendant Combs knew he could groom her.
There's absolutely no reason any boss should be forcing any employee to do any substances, let alone, hiring someone to then force them to sleep with people. That's just so icky and gross, and I'm glad that this woman's coming forward. We've heard of this cycle before when talking about Diddy. These people who are promised careers, modeling gigs, music record labels, and they aren't given anything. They're given these false promises, and when they don't deliver, then Diddy blacklists them. Adria claims that she first met the disgraced rapper in 2004 after her then boyfriend auditioned for a Sean John modeling gig. Adria claimed that her partner and another model were asked to perform orally on Diddy in order to get the job, which they allegedly refused. So it looks like Adria's boyfriend was told, hey, if you want to get this modeling gig with Diddy, you gotta suck him off. Despite their alleged refusal, Adria claimed that her partner was given a second chance if she agreed to work as a go-go dancer at one of Diddy's white parties. And she showed up and she did her job. I mean, here she is at the white party in the Hamptons back in 2004. So we got some proof that she was in fact there. Here's a clip of Adria explaining how she got involved with Diddy.
Attention returns to one of the newest lawsuits, this time examining the allegations connected to Diddy's famous white parties. The commentary explains claims that what appear to be legitimate employment allegedly evolved into something far more disturbing. Investigators are already examining trafficking-related allegations, and these newly filed claims add even more weight to an investigation that continues attracting nationwide attention.
Long story short, my ex, Anthony Gallo, goes in the room and he comes out yelling, fuck that. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, I'll talk to you in the elevator. And we get to the elevator. He's like, tried to ask me to suck his dick. I said, who asked you to suck his dick? He said, Diddy. I said, that. But then after that, he booked him anyway because I agreed to dance at the white party.
Major red flags. I mean, of course, her boyfriend was appalled by the idea, but then she kind of sacrificed herself so that he could get that job. Now, in the legal documents, Adria explains that when she first started working for Diddy, there was, quote, no sinister intent or requirements for physical contact, and it seemed to be a legitimate employment opportunity. So when she was invited to come back the following year to work again, she accepted it. It was easy money. She was at the white party, tons of celebrities. She didn't have to do anything icky yet. However, she says around the third party she worked that Diddy demanded that she begin engaging in intercourse with guests, as they had learned about her past in the entertainment industry and used it against her. She goes on to state that her memories of some of the details are hazy due to the fact that she was expected to consume copious amounts of alcohol and illicit narcotics. However, the documents add that the encounters that she was forced to endure were so excruciating that Adria remembers them as they still haunt her to this day, which that is horrific. That's PTSD, that's trauma, that is also a survivor coming forward and standing up for herself.
For the first time, viewers hear directly from Adria English as she explains how her involvement allegedly began. What started as an opportunity connected to a modeling job eventually led to claims that the situation changed dramatically over time. She recalls key moments that she says permanently affected her life, offering a personal perspective behind the legal documents and adding emotional weight to the allegations.
You and Diddy, what was the situation between both of y'all? Because I know he made some comments to you that you wasn't fond of, right?
He tried to play me, okay? This is when I knew he was out of his mind, like, you know what I mean? Basically, to make a long story short, I was messing with this chick, just started messing with her, you know what I mean? Knocked her down a couple times, a model chick, you know what I mean? At the time, I remember she was sharing an apartment with a famous actor's mother, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. Now, she's not my girl or nothing like that, you know what I mean? I probably had a girl at the time, you understand? Let's just keep it real. But I knocked her down a couple of times. And so now we're out in LA. We're at the Palladium. Big party, mad people's there, all these celebrities is there, people are performing, you know what I mean? Mad LA people is there, mad people from New York is there. This was like the super party. Like it was a very good party. So I'm in there, and then I see Shorty in there. You know what I mean? So I'm like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? So I'm like, if all else fails, I have some imported here and the party. You know what I mean? And because, back then, always looking for something new. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're always looking for something new. So, even though she was there, I'm still hunting. But I'm thinking, I got her on deck. So I don't think nothing of it. Then
The narrative now shifts to another first-hand account, where a former associate recalls an encounter inside a celebrity-filled party. At first, the story sounds like an ordinary night in the entertainment world, but subtle details begin building tension. As the speaker describes the atmosphere and the people involved, it becomes clear that the conversation is leading toward an interaction that left a lasting impression.
your man Puff comes up to me. And he's like, yo, Playboy. First of all, I don't like what it's Playboy. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? He calls a lot of people Playboy. Like, yo, Playboy. Yo, I told homegirl to go with you tonight. That's what he says to me. He said, I told her to go with you tonight. So right now, he's trying to let me know that he with the too. You know what I mean? He with the broad too. I don't want to call her. He the broad too. B, he's trying to act like he has more power over her than me. Right? Because by saying I told her to go with you is like saying, like, if you wanted her to go with you and I said no, she'd go with me. You know what I mean? And so I'm just kind of looking at this like, he really lost his mind. You know what I mean? Like, because in my mind, I'm the king of broads at this time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm the king of broads at this time. And I had...
The story reaches its conclusion as the witness describes a direct encounter with Diddy that, in his view, reflected a desire for control and influence over those around him. He explains why that moment completely changed his perception and why he believed something was seriously wrong. With multiple lawsuits, ongoing investigations, and intense public attention, this case is far from over. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.